So as you can see, the car's empty. Stuff's all upstairs. I'm just going to bring it all down and load the car up, and then in about half an hour, 45 minutes, I'm off to pick Steve up, load his stuff in as well, and then we're off to Folkestone. Going to get the tunnel across to Calais, and then we've probably got about 6 or 7 hours drive, I'd say, the other side till we get to Adam's place.
I think we have got everything.
I think we've got it all now.
Shall I wash up quick and then pack the sink in there?
Put the kitchen sink in.
That's mental, isn't it? And you reckon we'd have done that in the Golf?
No, wouldn't have done it in the Golf. Luckily
Wouldn't
we've
have
got
done
a
it
big
in two
car.
Golfs, I don't reckon.
No. No. She's loaded. Time to go. Gonna finish our cup of tea and away we go. Say hello, Steve-o.
Hello, Steve-o.
So as you can see, I'm just sorting a little bit of bait out. We've got here now, we've chosen our swim. Both going to fish from swim 1. So we're just doing a bit of bait prep in the lodge, which is adjacent to swim 1. I've got some maize, some pellets and some boilies in here. Quite a lot, but there's quite a lot of fish out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to row out to a spot between 2 islands. I'm going to scatter this out over a fairly wide area, and I'm going to fish a couple of rods on it tonight and see what that produces. Good morning guys, just caught me making the first cup of tea of the day. So it's the first morning, it's Sunday morning, and it's looking amazing. I've got a camera set up out there just doing a time lapse of the sunrise. It's not up yet, but it's just starting to glow behind the trees out there. Little white fluffy clouds have got a yellow tinge on them and it looks gorgeous. It's amazing out here at the moment. It's really grown up actually, this lake. I'm on the big lake and I fished it a little bit last time during the days, just stalking because I was on the smaller lake predominantly, but it's really grown up. The swims have been built. It just looks amazing. Loads of fish as well. Not disappointed, a little bit surprised that I didn't get any action through the night. We got here around lunchtime, just after lunch, after a bit of a journey. Took a bit of a detour and went out around Paris a little bit too wide. and ended up putting about an hour or so on top of our journey. But we were having a chin wag, and we were reminiscing, and we were getting excited for the trip, as you do when you're on your way to France. So it really wasn't a big deal. I think all we wanted to do was pull out a bed chair and go to sleep. But we did get the swims sorted, put some bait out on the spots, get a couple of rods out, and then get heads down. And I suppose, as luck had it, the fish have left us alone, and we've both got a really good night's sleep, so I feel nice and fresh this morning. I did wake up about 4 o'clock this morning, just peered out, and I just noticed these stars were just everywhere. I had never seen so many stars in all my life. It was just spectacular. I got the camera out, started trying to do a bit of time-lapse stuff, but it was early, I was tired, and the lens on the camera just kept on steaming up, misting up, you know. So I've got a few nice pictures, but I think tonight I'm going to actually set my alarm clock. If I'm not already awake, probably set my alarm clock to about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning perhaps. That seems to be when the Milky Way seems to be right overhead, and we'll give that a good go. Yeah, so fishing wise, I chose a spot. We were going to fish in peg 1 together. I think there's enough room in there for 2 anglers, definitely, but as you know, I don't usually use modern kit. I wanted to bring some modern kit along just so I could fish effectively overnight, and I can go stalking during the day with the old vintage tackle that I usually use. But I don't use a pod, I don't have a pod or anything as such. I've just got single bank sticks to put in the ground, and the ground seemed really tough, so Steve managed to get a couple of bank sticks in along the edge of a sleeper so he could get his couple of rods in, and I decided just to move into the swim next door, so I'm in swim 2, and it just so happens to be that it's the only swim on the lake that's got grass as opposed to sort of gravel to swim. So the bank sticks and the tent pegs went in really easily, and it's fabulous. I've got fish feeding out in front of me, but not where I put the rods. I put the rods out just to the left in between 2 islands, and I woke up this morning and directly out in front of me, in front of another big island, there seems to be sort of 5-6 different patches of bubbles, fish topping and rising, so definitely fish out in that area of the lake. And the area to the left where I put the rods out, there seems to be really quiet out there. There's a little bit of activity, but I think most of it is small fish, you know, roach jumping around, perhaps the zander and stuff chasing bits and pieces around, so it doesn't seem to be sort of carpy bubbles and shows. So, but anyway, that was just the first night really, and it was just to refresh ourselves, cup of tea, we'll have a bit of breakfast in a minute, wind in, have a shower, get changed, and then we can hit today and come up with a plan. Seems to be it's going to be warm during the days, it's going to be fairly breezy, I think, which will be nice, so it'll take the edge off the warmth, and chilly at night time. It was chilly last night. That one just poked its head out. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this up now. I'm going to drink the tea, wind the rods in, get myself sorted, and I'll speak to you again in due course. Right, so we're back in the game now. I've been to the lodge, I've freshened up, I've had a good wash, had some coffee, had some breakfast, and now it's time to get fishing. I've been out in the boat again this morning and put some more bait over the spots that I was fishing last night. Turns out that obviously I was tired and I wasn't doing things right, so I went out in the boat with a bucket of bait and I found a spot between the 2 islands and I put some bait out. Come back to the shore, lined it up, cast the rods out and clipped up to where I thought I put the bait, and didn't get anything through the night. Turns out that I put a marker float out this morning to where I'm clipped up to with my rods, And when I went out in the boat, it turns out that I was probably about 5 rod lengths past the marker float where I put the bait in yesterday. I'm not saying it's why I didn't get a take last night, but it would have helped if I was fishing over some bait. I did put a few spods out from the bank, so there was bait there, but probably about half a dozen to 8 spods, whereas 5 or 6 rod lengths past was a good 5 or 6 kilos of bait. So anyway, I've put some bait out around the marker float now, so I know that I'm going to be fishing effectively and over some bait. I've been up to the end where I saw some grass carp yesterday up in the last bay, and it's very, very quiet this morning. I put some bait up there last night before I got the rods out. I just put some bait out a couple of rod lengths from the bank where I saw a couple of grass carp cruising through. I've just gone up there now and there's no feeding activity, but I'm kind of guessing that the bait's all been eaten by now. And there's no fish in the area. It's as if they drifted in there in the afternoon. I've recognised that from the last trip that I had here last summer. So I've put some more bait on the spot now, and I've just put a bucket of bait out over the marker float. So the spots that I'm going to be fishing, stalking from the swim, I've got bait on. So with bait on the spots now, I think I'm going to go back down the other end, leave this, because I've been out in the boat and made some disturbance and thrown a few more kilos of bait in. I'm going to go back down the other end, probably with one rod, just flick it over the baited patch and see if I can do something there for an hour or so. Probably going to take a split cane rod down in the centre pin and see if we can get something on that. I'll keep you posted. Morning guys, it's Monday morning now, so we've had a couple of quiet nights actually. Steve caught a fish last night, so Steve's off the mark. He had a lovely 19-pound mirror at about 4 o'clock this morning, which was epic. But my swim's been quiet for 2 days now, and I didn't get to chat to you much yesterday because I was so busy in and out of the boat and having a good look around and stalking in the shallows and on the far bank and all sorts. But I did find quite a lot of fish down the far end of the lake, and Adam confirmed that what's pretty much happened is we've chose the first 2 pegs on the lake, started going out in the boat, putting bait out and spodding and casting, and it's just pushed all the fish up the other end and they stayed there. I thought I was going to get a few opportunities yesterday where I had so many fish around me and I was just flicking little baits in amongst them just to see if I could just nick a take, but I couldn't get them to take anything for whatever reason. I'm going to have another go today. Just going to change things up a little bit, but tonight I think I'm going to move. I think I'm going to, I think I might just take a bed chair down that end of the lake, sit under the stars and stick a couple of rods right in amongst them. It's going to do one or 2 things. I'm going to catch a hatful of fish, or it's going to push them down this end of the lake. So we've got to try something, but it's been fantastic. The night sky last night was just incredible, the best I've ever seen. The Milky Way comes straight overhead about 11 PM, and Adam came down for a chat and we were just standing there looking up at it gorp, and it was just the most spectacular thing. Just wish I had some better camera kit, longer, you know, say a wider lens or a low aperture, so I could get some real good Milky Way shots, because it would have been amazing last night. I got some fairly nice shots on the camera, but could have got so much better if I had obviously more expensive kit. But yeah, it's going to have some breakfast soon. Just doing a little time lapse at the moment because the sun's not far from coming up, and then I'm going to have some breakfast and then get a game plan together. But it's probably going to involve me spending most of the day again down the other end of the lake. So if I don't get to talk to you, I do apologise now. but hopefully we'll have 1 or 2 fish on the bank. Fingers crossed. There's loads in here. When they switch on, like Adam said, when they switch on, it can be really frantic. But if you're down one end of the lake and they've all moved down the other end of the lake, then you've got it all to do. But we'll keep trying. So I've made the move now from peg 2, which was absolutely dead again. Woke up this morning, and although I put quite a bit of bait out in front between the 2 islands, there wasn't a single bubble out there this morning. And I wound in just before breakfast, came for a walk on the end of the spit, and it was evident that there were fish rolling on the far bank, fizzing out into the centre channel. Just fish everywhere really. So I've decided to move from peg 2 and situate myself on the end of this spit, and it's just a spit of land which juts out into the lake and splits the lake in 2. It's not a swim as such, but I've kind of jimmied together the shelter so it's covering up the bed chair, and I've got the rods out, and I'm quite confident that they're on the right spots. The fish seem really spooky at the moment, and any commotion just makes them run a mile, but I'm hoping that because this is right in the middle of the lake and I'm fishing to the far bank where they seem to want to spend most of their time, sooner or later they're going to come by and discover the hook baits, hopefully. One can but try. Well, we're off the mark. It's taken a couple of days, but I've got one finally. And as you can see by the state of me, it's a grass carp. These things go absolutely mental. It's a new PB as well. My old PB was £18, and this one's £29. £29, and it's going absolutely scatty. Right, I'm going to do my best to hold it up. Here we go. There it is. Look at that. What a fish that is, eh? I've been watching these. Last year I was here for a week, and I was watching these things swim around, tormenting me, not picking up any baits. And we've got one. Look at that. £29. Awesome fish. Awesome. Never caught one of these really big ones. It's not really big. I mean, they go nearly double this in these lakes. Probably in the other lake actually, but definitely 40 pounders in this one. But yeah, 29 off the mark, and what a fish to start with. They're a bit delicate, these fish, so I'm not going to mess him about too much. Got plenty of water in the cradle, that's why I'm getting soaked. But if you catch one of these things, you've got to make sure you've got plenty of water in the cradle, because they don't do very well out of water. But that's enough. I'm going to get him back now, and probably wind all the rods in, go and get changed. Brilliant. There's fish number 2 of the night. £11 common. Beautiful, fin perfect, scale perfect carp. And my second fish of the night. Obviously the move paid off. 7:30 in the morning. Just got carp fish number 4 in the night, carp number 3. Just over £22 this one. Put up an epic battle. This one's scrapped and scrapped. Unbelievable. Proper chuffed. Got a spot working, 2 spots actually. 2 far bank spots, and they both produced 2 fish a piece through the night, so yeah, couldn't be happier. Couldn't be happier. Beautiful fish, beautiful lake, beautiful morning. Blown away. Good morning guys, and it's a very good morning as you would have seen. The move definitely paid off. I had 4 fish in the night. I think 1 at midnight, 1 at 2 o'clock, 1 at 4 o'clock, and then I had a take at 6 o'clock and missed it, and then I had a fish at 7:30. So I'm so pleased that I moved into the spit here where I could ambush the far bank. Definitely fish patrolling the far bank. That was evident yesterday, and the 2 rods that I had on the far bank have produced 2 fish each, so can't ask for much more than that. Best was a £29 grass carp. You would have seen that. Really chuffed with that. I really wanted to catch one of these big grass carp, and a couple of really nice mirrors and a lovely little common. So really pleased. It looks a little bit quiet now, the area. I've just seen some fizzing over one of the rods, so I'm just going to give that a bit longer just to see what materialises. But I think the plan for the day is to take a couple of rods on the far bank up the other end of the lake where the majority of the fish seem to be. I'm going to try and gently place a couple of small PVA bags in and around where the fish have been showing, and just sit back and see if we can get a fish during the day. If we can get one during the day, that'd be good, and then hopefully get back at tea time, get the rods back on their spots ready for the night, and see if we can repeat the process. So I think we're heading in the right direction, definitely. I'm being as quiet as I can right now, so apologies if you can't hear me very well. But just down the bank, just took for a walk along the far bank. I just got a couple of rods with me and minimal tackle. And just down the bank there's some real pluming going up just like a foot from the bank. Definitely some fish down there feeding. So the idea is I'm going to make up a little PVA mesh bag with some crushed up pellets and boilies and a bit of maize in. A couple of little bits of maize on the hair. Just literally lower it off the rod tip so there's no cast and no splash. Lay the rod on the ground and see what we can do. Just to show you what I'm doing. That's 1 boilie. 2 grains of maize. That's what did all the bites for me last night. So I've got no reason to deviate from that. As you can tell by the puffing and panting, I'm absolutely knackered. I don't know what time it is. I think it's about 2 in the morning. But I've got my second grassie of the trip. And it's a whopping £37.5. Absolute beast of an animal. Beat me right up under the rod tip. But touch wood, don't speak too soon, but it's behaving itself on the mat. I'm not going to hold this up too long because that is so heavy and I can feel that at the bottom of my back. But here you go, there's a monster. Awesome. Yes, yes. Oh man, that is huge. Well, I had that big grass carp at about 2:30 in the morning, and I woke up at 7 o'clock this morning and the rods are still quiet after putting that one back out again. The carp just hadn't turned up and I was kind of wondering why, you know. And then the middle rod was away. Just had this lovely 15-pound common. 15.6 this one went. Lovely mid double, really good condition. Absolutely perfect. Gonna slip this one back in and get the rod back out because it's still time for another bite, I think. Hopefully, if they're around now, if they turned up, better get this one back out again. Lovely wake up call. Morning guys, just setting up a float rod at the moment. I'm going to try something a little bit different today. I obtained some worms from the local shop yesterday. All the fish that I've been fishing to when I've been stalking down at the shallow end, or down at that end of the pond, every time I put a bait out, they're just getting ignored. I don't know if they're just not feeding during the day or whether they just don't want what I'm putting in front of them. So I just kind of thought that, you know, they're definitely feeding down there. There's definitely bubbles coming up, so perhaps it's naturals. So I've got some worms. I'm going to try float fishing some worms in and around the fish that I find. Drop it in front of them nice and it's not good. I have been fishing with a lead and a little rig and pieces of maize and bits and pieces, but I think the plop is just enough to put them on edge. But I think with a float I can just delicately lower that in with a worm, wriggling, and that could do the business. It's a fairly quiet night last night. I had a couple of occurrences. I had one at midnight. I had a grass carp which I played to the bank, just about to reach for the net actually, and then the hook slipped, and it seemed to be about the same sort of size as the one I had the night before. That sort of size, sort of 25 to 30 pound bracket. And then at 2 o'clock this morning I had another grass carp on the other rod. That was on the middle rod, and that was much bigger. Felt much bigger from the off. Got that one in. That was 37.5 pounds. So yeah, really monster fish. And I woke up at 7 o'clock wondering why the rods were still quiet. Wonder why the carp didn't move in as they had done the night previous. And then it was only about 10 minutes after I'd woken up, middle rod was away again, and I had a 15-pound common. So another couple of fish last night, which is good. Just proves that the move was a good move. But yeah, I'm just going to carry on making up this float rod, have a bit of breakfast, wind these rods in, and then I'm going to go for a wander and we'll see how we get on. 1:15 in the morning, and I've just had my first take of the night, and I've got a lovely mirror. There you go, just over 23 pounds. That's a gorgeous fish. First fish of the night come from the left dam rod. Usually the first fish of the night tends to be a grass carp. That's how it's been the last 2 nights. But tonight they've made me wait a little bit longer, but I got one of these bad boys. 23 pounds and 4 ounces, that fish. Superb. Fought like a train under the rod tip as well. Came in really easily. Just pumped her ashore. As soon as she got underneath the rod tip, she was just going round and round and boring down deep. And didn't really want to come up at all. But we got her in eventually, and really pleased with her. There she is. Superb carp. Well pleased. Yes. It's 3:30 in the morning, and I've got one angry mirror carp. This thing is angry. It's battered me, but I'm going to do my best. Come on, mate, up you get. Ooh. There you go. That is angry and solid, and 34 pounds 2 ounces. This is just getting better and better. This is the sort of chunk I was hoping to catch. Big shoulders, bags of attitude, powerful and beautiful. Yes. Yes, let me just spin her around. Quick look at the other side and I get her back. She has given me an absolute soaking. Look at you. You came along to make my day, didn't you? Gorgeous creature. There you go. That is a big French carp. That is really wide as well. You can see that, how wide that fish is. There you go. Look at that. Thank you, carp. Thank you, the Sanctuary. Absolutely superb. Yes, happy. Happy. Get you back. So good morning, guys. I'm back up again. It's 5:30 in the morning now. And I've had my third fish of the night, and it's one I'm really pleased with. I was hoping I was going to get a decent common. It's no monster, but it's a lovely common. For me, in my eyes, it's a big common. Big, that's 24 pounds 9 ounces. That is absolutely scale and fin perfect. Fought like a demon. They all fight like demons in here. Really fit fish. Really bionic, every one of them. Another one just crashed out in the darkness behind me. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm well pleased with that. That's gorgeous. This is shaping up to be one hell of a session. Well pleased. Good evening guys, I just wanted to give you a quick update on where we are. It's Thursday evening. It's a much cooler day today. It's been overcast. It's overcast now, so probably not going to see any stars tonight, but looks like it could be good on the fishing front. It's definitely cooler. It's been stiflingly hot during the day, and the days have been a bit of a write-off whereas fishing is concerned. And today hasn't been much different, to be honest. It's been easy enough to locate the fish, but actually getting anything to pick a bait up has proved very, very tricky again. But I just got a feeling a cooler day going into a cooler night, and they might get their heads down a bit better. So I've baited the spots up after lunch, got the rods out early. Adam's due down any minute. He's going to bring his stove down so we can burn some logs, have some beer, and enjoy some nibbles. That'd be nice. We did the same sort of thing last year up on Peg 2. We had a bit of a social evening, and it was a really memorable one, so that should be good. I'm actually using a different camera at the moment. I've got my little Sony point and shoot I'm doing this vlog on. The other one I usually use is fixated on a rod tip at the moment, trying to get a kingfisher to land. It's been really tricky. I've got really close but no cigar today. I did have one land, but it landed sort of on the spigot of the rod and not on the rod tip, so you can see half the kingfisher. So we're halfway there. Yeah, so I'm going to wrap this up now. I'll probably get a little bit of video of me and Adam having a social tonight, and hopefully we can get 1 or 2 fish on the bank tonight. It had a bit of depth to it, you know. Yeah. And it was wide across the back as well, really wide across the back. Yeah.
Pale fish, dark fish?
Pale fish, quite a pale fish. Not a scale on her, just a row along the top by the dorsal. But really solid and angry as well.
Was it?
Had a bit of water in there, and it flipped, and it soaked me like someone had just poured a bucket of water over my head.
Wow.
Dripping off my chin. It was all over the camera. I had to clean the lens. But yeah, and then I weighed her. Yeah, 34.2 she was. Yeah, really, really good one. That's the one that I wanted to, you know.
That's a result.
A chunk. And
no,
that's
a result.
chunk.
You've done well. You know, the fishing's been difficult, but you've worked hard, and slowly the rewards have come through, haven't they?
Yeah. Sat back on the bed chair, and I was thinking, do you know what? I've got to do something, because something's not right. That was usually the first one to go. So I wound it in, freshened up the hook bait, put a new PVA bag on, put it back out on the spot. Probably about 45 minutes later when it went.
Give over.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then that was the 24.9 common.
Common.
Yeah, it looked a bit big. It looked a lot bigger in the water. Again, very flat along the belly.
Long or
it was
short
a long,
chunky?
Yeah, long common.
Long fish,
common.
Yeah.
But it didn't have any belly at all.
Yeah.
And I thought another 30 pounder. That's what I thought when it was in the water.
Spawned
just
out.
About to net it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, just over 24.5. But yeah, gorgeous fish. Again, showed Steve this morning on the laptop, and even he said, you know, fin and scale perfect.
Wow.
Absolutely immaculate.
Beautiful.
And fit. I've been with all 3 of them fish last night. I was knelt down on the edge of the swim with the rod hooped over, just thinking, oh, will you come up? You know, just ploughing and taking off more line, and then back to the swim.
So in good condition.
Oh,
Fit,
just about to reach for the net, and still boring. You know, keep putting the net down again so I can control the fish again. Yeah, really, really good. Got to be happy though, mate, the way things are, haven't you? Both lakes rocking.
It's getting there, isn't it?
Yeah.
12 years in the making, Steve, but
yeah.
It's like anything, you take this picture in your mind, don't you, of where you want to be or what you want to achieve or what the fishery's going to become, and it just takes time. It is a time thing.
And you keep going until you achieve that.
Well, yeah, but you can't rush it as well.
No.
You know,
nature's got to play its part.
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole thing's a learning curve.
Yeah.
You know, on a personal level, and then obviously on the experience of running the fishery as well, you know. Every year's a new year, a new challenge. And Mother Nature always seems to counteract whatever I do to try and eliminate a problem or alleviate a problem. Mother Nature then throws in a curveball and combats it in another way.
Yeah.
You know, be it the crayfish, and then one year you'll have a weed issue, and then you'll have an issue with smaller fry, and you're constantly battling. You're always trying to find that equilibrium each year, and some years you achieve it and other years you don't.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, over time I've learned to understand the lakes better now than I've ever done.
Yep. And it's testament that you get the same people coming back year
I
after
think
year.
so. I think so, Stu. You know, long-term business and word of mouth is what everybody aims for.
I think you've always said it's more about going out to France and catching big fish. It's the whole package. It's the surroundings.
Yeah, of course
it's all of it.
Yeah.
Not just about big fish.
Well, we was only talking about that literally,
well.
weren't we, the other night?
Yeah.
We're talking about this obsession with size and numbers and the way carp fishing slowly progressed into an upscaled match fishing. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, it is.
You know, that's the stage we're at. And like I said, it's going to implode. It can't continue.
No.
You know, this carp to £100 now, multiple fish around the £90 mark in numerous fisheries. You know, where does it go from there? There has to be more to carp fishing than just weights and numbers.
Definitely. This is what it's all about. Having a fire in a chinwag.
Well, it is. It's memories, isn't it? A lot of it's memories and being out in the elements and pitting your wits against Mother Nature.
Yeah.
You know, that's.
It's finding a balance. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's finding a balance between having your fishing head on. So you know you're working out a pattern of when to put the effort in, and then you can work out when maybe it's not going to happen, and you can sit back and chill out, and you can take a few pictures if that's what you're into. You can have a snooze. You can do what you want.
Yeah. But all them elements make for an enjoyable weekend or 24-hour session, or in this case an enjoyable week when you get that one opportunity to get away from your mad life.
Yeah.
1 week in the calendar year.
Absolutely. And it's over so quickly.
And it does, it evaporates.
Yeah.
You get to, you know, that build up until Wednesday, you think, wow, I've got a week away from kids and work.
And now today,
and then as soon as you get to Wednesday, it runs away with you.
It really does. It's Thursday now, penultimate night, and it's just thinking, it's going home day after tomorrow. It starts
but
to
there's
hit
still
home.
time. There's still
exactly.
plenty of time. You know. Well, look at last night. You know, you get one good night, and all that hardship's forgotten.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, that's delightful. So different.
Which one have you chose?
I've got the elderflower.
Oh, have you?
The Brasil en Belgique. Couvi Florem.
Oh, wonderful accent.
I've been practicing. Painting needles. Multi-purpose.
Brilliant, eh? Great idea.
Nice little feast, mate. Nice little feast.
Funny over time how you adapt. You're not actually aware of it, but you are adapting to living in another country.
Yeah.
And some of these traditions of the way they eat, the French.
Yeah.
You do adopt them.
Yeah.
And I quite enjoy that as a snack now, you know, olives and saucisson and chorizo,
I used to hate olives with a passion.
I did as a kid. I don't think there's many children who like olives.
And my missus would tell, because she found it quite comical, that everywhere we go, someone would offer us olives, and I'd say, do you like olives? And there'd always be some olives somewhere. And every time I'd say, no, but I'll try one, in case I do. Yeah,
you're away.
Whoa. This one.
Oh yes, brilliant. We could hear fish rolling over that.
I know. You said that was the one that was going to go, didn't you?
How exciting.
Yeah.
Back in play.
You said it was going to start early tonight, didn't you?
I had a feeling. Just the way that fish rolled over your bait, I thought that's going to go. Saying that, I don't like being interrupted while I'm cooking my sausage.
I'll try to refrain next time.
Wow.
I'm going to have to try and fix my headlamp to my bunts, I think, so I can actually see what's going on here. But we've definitely got a carp on. Don't know what strain of carp it is yet.
I'm not showing much interest. I'm stuffing my face like Billy Bunter here, excuse me. I'll give you a hand in a minute, 2 secs. I'm fully aware that you're going to be doing battle for the next 10-15 minutes.
Yeah. That's a chunk. Yes.
Well done, Stu.
Cheers, mate. It's a chunk. She's a chunk. Well, would you believe it? Me and Adam were here, same as we did last year, having our bit of a social with the stove, a few nibbles and putting the world to rights, and we go and get a run. And it is an absolutely stunning mirror carp. There you go, proper linear scaling. 22. There you go. 22 pound 2 ounces of absolutely stunner.
Yeah, it looks lovely.
Angry
look at the
fish
mouth
too.
on it.
Yeah.
Huge underslung mouth, yeah.
Lovely shoulders. Incredible.
Well done, Stu.
Cheers, mate.
Fantastic result.
Right. Oh, that is a proper unit. Look, I was just saying to Adam, you know, 22 pounds, it's, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big fish, but when you're like me, and you just don't fish for big fish, this is a massive carp. And that's what it means.
God, I can't get up this.
That's what it's all about.
Look at that. Try to turn that to the camera.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely pristine.
Yep.
Not a mark on it, full curtain, top and bottom. You know, the virgin carp these now in the 15 acre lake, so. Well done, Stu.
Cheers, mate.
Wonderful result.
She can go back. Awesome result. Right.
Hey, the night's young.
Oh, it is, mate. It really is. And there's number 5 of the night, ready to be filmed. Epic night's fishing. Good morning, guys. It's morning now, it's proper morning. The sun's not up yet, and I think that's just because it's a bit overcast this morning. It's just a thick band of cloud everywhere. There was no stars last night. And it was a much different evening, but it was a productive one. We had some fish, we had some lovely fish, as you would have seen. We had a grass carp and some lovely carp. But this fish here, 16 pound this fish. But it's, yeah, for me it's the fish of the trip. This epitomises what Adam does here. He just wants beautiful fish. He's not worried about the sizes. He's got some big fish in this venue. But it's the real pretty ones that really float his boat. And that's the same for me as well. Yeah, look at that. You can imagine that one a few times bigger, isn't it? Absolute stunner. They don't come much better than that. And the other side is just as special. Whoa, steady on. Yeah. This is to get on both sides because Adam likes to track these fish. He likes to keep an eye on them. See how well they're doing from year to year, and that's going to be a very distinguishable fish, that one he's going to want to keep an eye on. Superb fish. Yeah, as I say, not the biggest fish of the session, but definitely the most pretty, and a brilliant wake up call. Let's get everyone back out. Got another morning take. Another morning take. Just under 13 pounds that common. Really scrapped, really gave up a good account of itself. Stunning fish, absolutely perfect condition. You can see that one growing quite big in the future. Gorgeous. These are little mini sausages, they're called saucisson. I think that's a pronunciation, saucisson. Saucissons. Yeah, they're like little chorizo sausages but without the spice. And they're gorgeous, but if you just hold them in the flames and just toast them a little bit, they just start to release a little bit of oil and the outside goes a little bit crispy. Fabulous. And then of course we've got some marshmallows as well. Magic. Evening guys, so it's the final night. It's 11 o'clock on the final. It's 11 o'clock on the final night and I've just had my first take on the middle rod and this one's just over 21 pounds. There we go, just over 21. Lovely, lovely fish. We've been spoilt this week. At night time the fish have been coming thick and fast. The days have been for chilling, to be honest with you. I've been fishing hard for the first few days, but then the last couple of days during the day I've just been chilling. I've been taking it easy, just gearing myself up ready for these nights. That's gorgeous. Look at the other side. They arrived a bit earlier last night. I think by this time last night I'd had a couple, so I was just sitting there just wondering, you know, are they going to be here? And then the middle rod, stuttery little take. Usually on that far bank you get a few bleeps, a few more bleeps, a couple more bleeps, and then bang, pew, she's away. There she is. Little stunner. There we go. Brilliant. Shoulders on that one. Yep, just over 21. Let's slip her back and get the rod back out. Yes. So we've got our second fish of the night. There we go. £20, 6 ounces. Second fish of the night, and I've only just put the other one back about half an hour. Got back in the sleeping bag, just started to chill out, and the right hand rod was off. So this baiting slowly throughout the week, it's just getting better and better and better as the week goes on. Well pleased, got to be pleased with that. Really lovely clean fish. Yeah. Let's have a look at the other side. Yeah, it's a little bit flappy this one. He kind of swam straight into the bank, and before he could do much and start going, he went into the net quite nicely. But he's giving me a bit of aggro on the bank. He's not too bad. There we go. Come on. Here we go. Let's get up. Here we go. There he is. Super fish. And number 2 of the night. Brilliant. Good send off. Good morning, guys. It's 10 to 7 in the morning, and we've got to be away by 10 o'clock, so it's just got a few hours left. But true to form, we've got a small fish in the morning. It seems to happen that there's a group of 20s that come along in the evening around midnight, and then from about 6:30 in the morning, the left hand side of the swim seems to have a flurry of small fish, and true to form, I've got one here, 10.5 pound mirror. There we have it. Lovely one to see me off. A couple of fish quite close together, one at 11 and one at 11:30 last night, and then nothing all the way around to this morning when the left hand side of the swim starts working. It's been the same for a few nights now. Yeah. We'll have you back in a minute, mate. Yeah, we'll have you back in a minute. Come on. There you go. There you go. Lovely little scamp, wanted to see me off. Thank you very much for dropping in. So that's it, final moments, just packing away. That's the last thing to go in the car, right there.
Hey, me, I want the ground shit.
Steve, final words?
Memorable.
Memorable.
Memorable trip.
Enjoyed
mate.
it, caught some fish, chilled out.
Yep. Caught up in my sleep.
Lovely place.
Yeah, lovely place. Definitely come back.
Adam, final words?
Vive la France.
Vive la France. Indeed, indeed. So, until next time, bonjour.
Emotional.